Welcome to Mallett and Michelle on Dripping Springs, hosted by me, Michelle Lewis, and Steve Mallett.
Hey, Michelle Lewis.
Are you in the struggle bus today?
Can you tell?
It's hard. I was gone Friday and now Monday. I think we should call it a day earlier today.
At 12:21, we're calling it a day. I'm going home to take a nap.
It is hard.
I mean, things are going well. I mean, we're busy. There's a lot going on. The podcast is growing and expanding, and
but just being off.
A lot to be it's the time off. And then when you're not in the office on Friday, it just even though I had a pretty good day, I made a bunch of calls and contacts with people, a lot of which were, hey, can I call you next week? Because I'm on my way to the coast. But
you missed me. You really missed me.
Right. Yeah, but it just throws things off in the office. So, but you know what? I am actually very excited. We actually got another sponsor that we've been working on for a while. Last week, we announced M. Elliott Studio. And this week, I'm really proud and happy to announce Capital Farm Credit has joined us as a sponsor.
That they believe us. They're behind us.
Yeah.
And Mark
Rutledge,
amazing gentleman.
Yeah, Mark Rutledge is our local rep for Capital Farm Credit. And you're going to hear some ads from them. And he's going to come on the show at some point in the future.
Yeah, because he's super involved in the Driftwood community.
He is.
Big time.
He's a pilot. Did you know he's a pilot?
I did not know that.
Yeah. He's been trying to talk Holly into coming up flying with him, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, yeah. Good luck, Holly.
Yeah. But, you know, the thing about Capital Farm Credit that a lot of people don't understand is, and we're going to talk to Kim Watson here from South Star Bank, and I'm sure she'll tell us some of the similar things, but you know, the kind of properties that we sell a lot of out here, which would be, 25, 30 acres with a house and a barn and maybe a wildlife valuation on them. If you go into, say, Chase or Wells Fargo or one of these big banks and say, hey, I need a loan on this property, they're going to look at you like Mitch McConnell at a press conference. Seriously.
Too soon?
Yeah.
Too soon?
Sorry. But they're not going to know what to do with that. Yeah. Where Capital Farm Credit will say, oh, yeah, we do those all the time. Mm-hmm. So, 100 acres, yeah, they got that. If it's in wildlife or ag, if there's no improvements, if there's improvements on it, if you want to buy 100 acres and build a house on it, they can help you with that. So it's a great relationship for us, but it's also good for our listeners to know something about such a great company that's been around for over 100 years.
Yeah, that's exciting. Thank you so much for believing in us, Mark, and Capital Farm Credit.
Yeah,
and,
super excited.
Welcome to the group.
Yeah.
Welcome to the group. Hey, coming soons. We talk about coming soons in real estate all the time. But I had a little insight to a couple of things that are coming soon in Dripping Springs. I think it was last week you talked about the GNC going away.
Yeah.
They're going to put a mathnasium there, which is
in that same spot.
It's a math learning center. So I think I'm going to probably go sign up for it. I'm going to go sign up. But they only do kindergarten to 12th grade, so I don't know how I'm going to do this.
Our working relationship, we have learned to double check your numbers, haven't we?
Yeah, so don't look at me. The other one that's coming in is a plastic surgery center.
In Belterra Shopping Center?
It's going to be... So it's 1341 Highway 290. I think it's the Lewis Family Medicine building. I think but it's Sarah Saxton facial plastic surgery, and they will do like facelifts, rhinoplasty, lip lifts, Botox, filler, blah, 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 blah. SaxonMD.com. Oh. But so in the Ledgestone property that's being built, there's going to be a new AT&T store there.
Oh, I saw that. That's the new buildings to the east of the entrance to Ledgestone. They're just set down a little bit from the road. They're framing them up, or they were framing them up last week.
Did you see how close those apartments were to the Highway 290?
They're very close.
Boy.
Yeah, where Trudy's used to be.
Yeah, it's super close to the road.
And there's a bunch of them. It looks like it's like 500 units. Probably need to find out more about that.
Yeah, let's find out more about that because that's not something.
Yeah. Hey, Michelle, what do you think every 20-year-old wants to have these days? Not a new iPhone.
We are a family-friendly podcast.
Oh, shush. Not a new iPhone, not 1,000 followers on Instagram. What do you think every 20-year-old wants to have right now?
Wow, that's a hard question.
They want to have the Rizz.
What the heck is oh, please. Are you trying to be hip?
I'm not trying to be
Are
hip.
you trying to? Okay, what is the Rizz?
You don't know what the Rizz is.
No, I don't. And
or
I have
Rizz, just Rizz in general.
I don't.
It's somebody that has basically charisma, somebody that has confidence, charm, magnetism, attractiveness, and charisma.
And this is called the Rizz. In what
yes.
circles is the Rizz
Well, it's
is this other
social media? Yeah.
Never heard this ever.
See, now that surprised me because I thought I was going to say it and you were going to go, "Oh yeah, I know what that is."
I'm going to text
TikTok.
Kendall and ask her if she knows what that is. I've never heard anything.
Text her right now. I want to know.
Okay, what is it called?
The Rizz or Rizz, Rizz.
Okay, I'll text her.
And it's actually kind of funny because do you know where I found out about this?
What?
In the Wall Street Journal.
Oh, yeah, because that's accurate on what the pulse of 20-year-olds are doing.
Apparently, young people are using it all the time. And there's some other slang that I thought we would talk about. Do you know, you know cringe.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what that one
means.
That's
what this conversation is right now.
What about gatekeeper? Do you know?
I know yes,
So
I know
what's a gatekeeper?
Well, it's like if people say, "Oh my gosh, Michelle, your hair's so pretty," and if I gatekeep what kind of hair care I use or shampoo, like if I'm not spilling my secrets, I'm gatekeeping it.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, so did you just? So I actually knew how to use it. So, okay,
well, I had it written down. Of course, I had to write it down. It said like if you had a new suit and you wouldn't tell anybody where you got it.
Oh, okay.
You're a gatekeeper.
Yeah.
How about situationship?
No.
Situationship is a casual relationship or friends with benefits. I'm surprised you didn't know that one. I figured that'd be all over TikTok.
No.
How about that?
I'm not on that side of TikTok. Okay. I'm on conspiracy theory.
Okay. How about that person needs to touch grass?
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one.
What does it mean?
Well, it just means they need to be reality. I just asked Logan if he's ever heard of the Rizz. He goes, "Yeah, what is it?" He goes, "Rizz Master."
I didn't hear
what?
that.
Okay, so wait, in reference to what? Okay, so okay.
They didn't hear it either.
Yeah.
Huh? Touch grass refers to somebody that spends too much time online. They need to get out
I just
and
thought they
touch some
need it.
grass.
They need some reality. Yeah.
Well, this one is one you and I say all the time: rent free.
Yeah. Someone lives rent free in your head.
We have people that are either jealous or mad at us for something, and we live rent free in their head.
Uh-huh.
Especially that one sniper guy that sent us multiple emails that we never responded to.
Yeah, rent free.
How about a bop? That's a great bop. It's a great new song.
Oh,
like Cardi B's new single is a bop.
Don't ever say that sentence again. Don't ever.
Hey, I'm not saying
whatever you just said. I don't know why you thought.
I think for me, slang is still dude, which I could probably get away with because I'm 60. Bruh. No, I don't use bruh. That's too young
that's
for
what
me.
the kids are saying now. Like bruh, dude. Well, I wanted to touch base a little bit.
I want to know what Kendall says about Rizz.
Oh, well, she's ignoring me right now. That's her MO. She'll ignore me or she'll blow my phone up. So if she does text me during the podcast, I will let you know. New laws, September 1st, 774 new laws got passed in the state.
Or in the state?
In the state.
Oh my gosh.
And so I thought we'd talk about a couple of them. One of them, there's a lot of new laws on education, a lot of them being directed about safety. House Bill 3 requires every public school to have an armed officer or offer mental health training for staff wherever they interact with children.
I just saw something today that Austin ISD is going to have SRO officers at every campus.
They're required. Yeah. Dripping Springs, just like the rest of Texas, has a new vaping policy. Students caught with vapes are going to be placed in alternative school or DAEP, which is alternate education. It covers any school-sponsored event or related activity on or off school property. I hope that also they encourage people, like at football games or sporting events, to not vape. Also, adults to not vape also. But, there's a lot of new laws that have passed. And like I said, the school safety, there's laws on higher education. One law that I find, I'm going to be a little controversial, is the Save Women's Sports Act. Act. It prevents transgender athletes from competing on college teams that match their gender identity. Athletes are required to compete based on their biological sex. Females are still allowed to compete on male teams if no female team is offered or available. So I'm in agreement with that one right there.
I think that's common sense, isn't it?
Okay, well,
I know. It's,
so,
it's just I know.
So common sense in what actually is the truth. This one was very interesting to me because I've actually done this before. I have ordered some of my prescription drugs that were not offered. I was on this really, really expensive drug, and then my coupon ran out, and I had to order it from Canada. So there's a new law now. It's called the Wholesale Prescription Drug Information Program. The state's Health and Human Services Commission will contract with Canadian wholesalers and suppliers to bring safe, eligible prescription drugs at cheaper prices. This happened apparently during the Trump administration, but there was some tweaking that has happened, and so now I guess you can order.
That's interesting. I thought drugs and healthcare in Canada was subsidized by the government. So does that mean that people in the U.S. can buy pharmaceuticals that have been partially paid for by the Canadian government?
That's getting in the weeds a little bit because I know that the program's going to be not fully operational until next year. So I'm sure there's probably a lot of kinks that they have to work out. They've also, because we mentioned somebody earlier, they've also expanded the stalking crime.
Crime?
It broadens the definition of stalking and expands the repercussions for the criminal offense of stalking. And same thing with harassment. It expands the prosecution of harassment to include electronic communications from temporary or disposable phones because people were kind of doing that. And then there's some court stuff. Did you know that there was a Kobe and Gianna Bryant Act?
In Texas?
Makes it a crime to publish or release certain photographs of human remains by first responders, coroners, medical examiners. And so I think some of these, this is new Texas laws related to courts. It may have been a law and then Texas has adopted it. I think that's kind of what...
That's interesting, because there were people that were making money off publicizing pictures from the helicopter crash from Kobe.
It was awful. It was awful. One of the other things that I think is near and dear to both of our hearts is that there is a ban on COVID-related mandates. Senate Bill 29 prohibits local governments from requiring COVID-related masks, vaccines, or business shutdowns. Now, a private business can still do what a private business is going to do.
And the federal government will do what the federal government does.
But Michelle's going to do what Michelle's going to do. There's also a new law relating to fentanyl. House Bill 6 allows a prosecutor to charge a person with murder for distributing a fentanyl-laced drug if it leads to the victim's death. That's very interesting. And then they're also going to provide Narcan for universities. It'll allow for the distribution of Narcan.
I saw I heard a story on the radio last week that there are people now overdosing on horse tranquilizers.
What?
Did you hear about that?
People will just put anything and everything in their body.
I know. But what they're trying to get out there is that because the horse tranquilizer is not an opioid, Narcan does not work.
I think I heard something like that too.
So
is that the one I was telling you that Todd was watching these YouTube videos and people are bent over like zombies?
I'm not sure. Maybe. Isn't that weird that that's just the craziest thing? Like they're bent over at the waist, like their legs work, but their upper body doesn't. They're just they literally look like zombies in the street, like an alleyway full of people.
Crazy.
Maybe it is horse tranquilizers. I don't know.
House Bill 393, which they also call Bentley's Law, it requires people that are convicted of intoxication manslaughter to make restitution payments for the support of a child whose parent or guardian is a victim. That's
child support. You kill the husband or wife or mother or father of somebody that's under 18, you have to pay for their child, what do you call it?
Child support
for them up until they graduate from high school or turn 18. I think that makes sense.
There's also it's called repealing the tampon tax, Senate Bill 379, exempts some family health products such as menstrual products or diapers and other child care necessities from sales tax. So I don't know.
Why was that even sales tax on that
I don't
to begin with?
Yeah,
That's
I don't
crazy.
understand. But there's some really other interesting. There's, like I said, there's 774 laws that are out there. I don't know. I just think it's very, very interesting, some of these laws and kind of what has happened. The school safety laws most definitely
I
needed
was
to be
just looking
shored
at
up.
that. The city of Austin is going to hire 80, which I think they're going to have a hard time, 82 full-time officers. Currently has 82 full-time officers, including 43 school resource managers. The district may hire an additional 89 SROs, which stands for Safety Resource Officer, right?
Yes, safety resource officer.
And it's going to cost AISD $8 million to hire those, but they're going to probably have a hard time finding 89 people. I mean, the police department can't hire enough people that want to be police officers.
Well, no, but not after the community sentiment towards police that they're just bad people, and this is just crap.
Well, that's not community sentiment. That's actually politicians, people in leadership saying that about the police officers that are tasked with going out and protecting us every day. That's just atrocious and pitiful. I think that they're doing that. You talked about the Texas putting in the COVID restrictions. So one of the things about that is, while it can be a government office won't say, well, you got to wear a mask. They do say things like, well, if you really care about the people around you, you wear a mask. And, if you don't wear a mask, then it's pretty obvious that you don't care about anybody but
I can't
yourself.
wait till someone says that to me.
But that's what they do. And that's not just people saying that in passing. That's what comes down from the head of these offices. So,
well, say it to me. I actually saw somebody on TikTok that said some comebacks for stuff like that and said it's okay. I breathe out of my butt. So,
well,
on that note,
it is going to be interesting to see what happens with, there's an election coming up, and we know what happened the last time we had this happen, and how many people got in line and how many people stand up for their own rights and and to take care of their own health care and not be forced into doing something they don't want to do. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Exactly. And, have a little Rizz while you're doing it. So.
Have a little Rizz. That's right. I hope I'm right. I hope I didn't just read a whole story there that nobody knows what the hell I'm talking about.
Okay, Kendall responded and she said yes.
LOL. See?
Okay, but she
Kendall's
probably
23 years old.
What is it? She's not going to know what it is.
I bet she does.
Logan Googled it. It's just like being a lady killer, basically, is what he said.
See? Yeah, you have charm, confidence.
You didn't know what it was.
I had to read the Wall Street Journal article to know what it was.
I've never heard of this before.
They used, I wish I'd wrote the guy's, is it Jack Harlow? Jack Harlow, he's a curly-haired rapper from Kentucky. He's the guy that people started saying has the Rizz. That's where this originated from.
Well, I only really right now follow Oliver Anthony. Do you know who he is?
I have no idea who that is.
Oliver Anthony is this music guy. He's like literally grassroots, and he sings this song about how the man is basically keeping them all down. And
sing it, man. Sing it.
Man, he's amazing. Yeah, he's pretty amazing.
Well, I do know somebody that has the Rizz. Well, we're going to take a little break and get Kim Watson in here from South Star Bank. Proudly sponsored by...
At Capital Farm Credit, they understand that owning land is more than just a transaction. It's a legacy, a future, and a place to call your own.
For generations, Capital Farm Credit has been the trusted lending partner for land loans, farmers, ranchers, and rural dreamers just like you.
Their personalized loan solutions cater to your unique needs, making the journey to land ownership smoother than ever.
Capital Farm Credit, your land, your legacy. Visit CapitalFarmCredit.com or Mark Rutledge at 512-892-4425.
Capital Farm Credit, an equal credit housing lender.
Interior design should be an investment in your life and home. Let M. Elliott Studio transform your space. where interior design meets excellence in Central Texas.
Beyond just selecting colors and furnishings, team principal and owner, Montana Elliott, is a trained and licensed interior designer.
With her knowledge of architectural principles, building codes, space planning, and design theory, her team will work with you to understand your needs and lifestyle.
From concept to completion, M. Elliott Studio is committed to enhancing your space with a timeless and classic style.
Ready to redefine your space?
melliottstudio.com, 512-781-0224.
This portion of the show is brought to you by the Mallett Integrity Team of real estate professionals. They are based in Dripping Springs and bring you over 45 years of combined experience helping people reach their hill country real estate dreams. When you want the best in town, call them at 512-829-2062 or look them up at mallettintegrityteam.com. And now, here's Steve and Michelle.
Welcome back. We have Kimberly Watson here from South Star Bank Branch Executive and Senior VP of Lending. Welcome.
Welcome
Hello,
to
good
the
morning.
show, Kim. Well,
Thank
glad
you.
you're on.
Thank you so much.
You can't be nervous. This is going to be a lot of fun.
She's worried that I was going to make fun of her, and I said I only reserved that for you. I really kind of only...
And Brent, who
And
she
Brent,
works with.
yes.
So that's
Absolutely.
actually my first question. How do you put up working with that guy?
Oh, he's one of my favorite people.
He's one of my favorite people too, but you can't help but make fun of him.
I enjoy making fun of him. I'll make fun of him with you.
We need to do that. So how did you don't live in Dripping Springs, but you work here in Dripping Springs. How'd you end up here?
Brent, actually,
Oh,
he
is it?
recruited me from another bank, and I had worked with him previously at Cattleman's Bank.
Okay.
Remember when he used to work here? He and I worked together there. So he had an opportunity, wanted to start a mortgage department, and I knew how to do that. So helped him get everything set up.
How did you know how to set up a mortgage department?
I had helped another community bank do that and worked for them for a while. So I kind of had all the relationships set up, not a lot of relationships, but enough. And, I was always looking for something new to do. Loans get boring. So I'm always like, oh, what can I do now?
Well, you're very involved in the community. I swear, not only are you my friend, but I see you every chamber event, every women's club event. You're also a member of a group that Steve and I helped start, Dripping Springs Elite Real Estate Professionals. You guys kind of really supported us from the very beginning when it was kind of just a little idea. And so, girl, you're everywhere.
I am everywhere. My goal is to do things that Brent just expand upon what he started. So I wanted to kind of make my own way. I didn't want to just ride his coattails. And so that's kind of, I also love being involved. So I'm like, wow, I get paid to be involved. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's a great community for that. Didn't you start some kind of a women's group thing, like a dinner?
I was doing a little happy hour, but it seemed to conflict with a lot of other events. So I kind of had to stop.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm
We need to
desperately
start.
missing it.
We need to start.
Happy hour.
I was going to say that's where you two really got to know
Yes,
each other.
we may
didn't-
need to start again and just maybe just a little appetizers.
Appetizers.
Yeah, appetizers.
Yes.
Appetizers. So the big news of what's going on right now in the world is interest rates, or our world is interest rates and what that's doing to the housing market. So as a professional banker, branch executive, and VP of lending, tell us what's going on with that and what you think the future is going to hold with interest rates.
I mean, I think they're still going to keep going up for a little bit longer. And then I feel like, you'll have to tell us what's going on with houses and the prices of houses, but I feel like they're going to start leveling off a little bit, and then people are going to get used to the rates. So
You think so?
I think they're getting used to it already. We're getting lots of calls and, closing deals.
Really?
Yes.
I'm not sure. Activity's still pretty low right now. So compared to where we were 2 years ago, it's off, 90%. We used to list something and we'd get 20 offers on it. Now you're lucky if you can get an offer in 60, 90 days. So a lot of people don't know South Star Bank's what I guess you call that a regional bank or a local bank.
Local bank. We're based out of Moulton, Texas. I think we're a 104-year-old bank this year. And we have 16 or 17 locations. I can't keep up. But of course, I'm at the Dripping Springs branch, and we offer residential lending and commercial lending. So I think that's what sets us apart and why we've been successful, because usually we can help anyone that walks in the door with a loan.
Well, that's what I was going to say. A lot of people may not understand the difference between like walking into Wells Fargo or Chase or some of these big national bank branches. What's the difference between walking into, say, Chase and South Star Bank?
Well, I'll use Wells as an example. They send me their lot loans. They send me their construction loans because they don't do those.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I love meeting other bankers because it's often that I have loan products that they don't.
How many of those like lot loans do you guys keep at the bank? And explain what that means to the average person that doesn't know how lending works. How many do you sell off, and how many do you keep at the branch?
We actually keep all of them.
Oh, you do?
Yes, we that's not a loan that's sold into the secondary market. I have about 65 on the books right now, which I hope to turn into construction loans. So I think I'm in trouble right now with Brent because I have too many on the books. But I love doing lot loans. I love taking care of people wanting to build a home and helping them figure out how to do that.
Yeah. So explain to Michelle, explain to Michelle the secondary market. You just mentioned the secondary market. So like I would say, for example, Wells, what you use, wouldn't they sell just about everything every loan that they do, they probably sell off, right? But
likely, yes.
Yeah. And so the secondary market's what? Tell us about that.
Like a Fannie Freddie loan, like a conventional loan. But they have a very strict set of rules that the house and the borrower has to get approved for. So when either the borrower or the house can't get approved, then we can normally do that loan.
And what kind of stuff happens that it can't get approved?
Maybe they've only been self-employed for 1 year. Maybe they're getting a gift from a unapproved source. Maybe there's 3 houses on the property.
I was going to ask.
Maybe there's mixed-use property. Maybe there's no house at all. So land loans, ranch loans, commercial loans as well.
Okay. So sometimes it's the actual buyer, it's their situation, and sometimes it's the property.
Absolutely.
And so there's sort of a joke in the real estate community about if you've got a mobile home and you're trying to sell it, call Kim, call South Star Bank, because you guys have loans for that, whereas Chase would be like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, I usually say, send me a link to the property. I would love to look at it. If there's a pretty new double wide, those are sometimes difficult, but if there's a single wide that they're going to pull off of it, we can likely help with a lot loan.
You know, I watched the movie Big Short again last night. I did.
In preparation for meeting with Kim?
No, I just watched it. It was like in the Netflix thing, and I've been seeing it a lot in the news, and I was like, oh, so while, I'm a big researcher, when I'm watching a movie, I have to know and so I was like, oh, this is interesting. It's interesting is how all of this is.
So give us the Cliff Notes version.
There was no love story, nobody kissed, and nobody died.
And there was no guys with shirts off.
That was it.
Do you remember that movie?
I haven't seen it in a long time.
But it's basically that the government was pressuring loans to be underwritten to people that weren't really qualified for them. And so the market got flooded with loans that had very little chance of going through.
He's back in the news
again.
Not
being foreclosed on.
That's why I was like, oh, okay, well, Kimberly's going to be on. I want to watch this. And he's been in the news again because he's predicting something else again.
Oh, yeah.
That's supposed to be happening. So
what's he predicting now?
That it's going to...
That the housing market's going to crash?
Well, then I watched the Alien movie right after that, so I don't know what I was
getting confused.
What comes first?
Kim, you said in your bio that you send us that you do a lot of quote unquote weird loans.
Sure.
Do you remember? Do you remember one that you can tell us about that you think was the weirdest one you've ever done?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
We don't have to name names.
Yeah, I'll have to think. I'll have to think about the weirdest one I've done.
Michelle and I talk all the time about the weird ones we've done.
We name them. We have certain houses
Snake
that we name
House.
Snake House. Yeah. Doll
What's some
House.
other ones we've had?
Puppet House.
Puppet House.
Yeah,
Oh God, that
yeah.
was a weird one. Yeah.
See, you just gotta just name it.
I was going to say, email us if you want some details. We can't talk about that stuff on here.
No, we can't. For sure. So with the women's club, what is your role right now in the women's club? And I've seen a change in that group really starting to happen over the last year or two. I felt like, honestly, at the beginning, it wasn't something that I demographically would be a fit for. But I feel like the tides are changing a little bit.
Yeah, well, we hope so. I just started going to women's club meetings last maybe September, so I don't really know how it was before, but I've joined the board and I'm acting as secretary for them, which is fun. I've never done that before. It's a lot of work, a lot of listening, active listening.
I would be I'd
with
be
like
horrible
10,
at that.
10 ladies talking with all their opinions, and it's been fun and interesting though. So I help plan the meetings that are coming up and just get them organized, and I'll help with content later. But I'm excited.
How
I
big
do
is the
think
women's group now?
Gosh, when last week,
I think we have around 170 members this
God.
year, and it just opened up in July. So
it was crazy. I went to the happy hour last week, and I could not believe that was the largest meeting that I had been to.
I think we said there was about 114 ladies there at the kickoff meeting. Yes. So
It was big. And then now you also are involved in the chamber. So what do you do in the chamber?
I'm also on the board with the chamber.
Jeez, Kim, how are you keeping up?
That kind of all came at the same time, both of them. And I've just promised myself to be open to opportunities. The market has changed. We are slower. I have more time to devote to the community. So that's what I'm doing.
That's like getting your car washed because you want it to rain. You're gonna get real busy with all these things, and then the market's gonna come rushing back.
What is it on the board that you do in the chamber? What's your role?
There's really not a specific role. It's just a general board. So we meet monthly, and I actually Class 7 leadership is starting today, and I was asked to help with that. So I'm going there at 1:00.
Tell us about these leadership clashes. Leadership clashes. It's because I've seen the emails going out, but I don't know what those leadership
and they do them
classes
do them on Tuesdays. So we wouldn't be able to do them.
But tell us about that.
It's a great class. You really get to learn a lot about the community. So I don't think we're the only chamber that's done leadership, but Mr. Carlin Cox kind of brought it to this chamber, and they embraced it. And we're in Class 7 right now. I was in Class 5, so you have a government day. You have I'm trying to think of all of the days that you have, but you kind of go around the city. You get to meet the leaders, and you get to know who the players are, and how to be involved in the community. So you also, at the same time, you get to engage with the other leadership group and really get to know them. So I probably have 5 from Class 5 that I keep in touch with, and we regularly do things and hang out.
That's a better explanation than I had actually thought what the group was.
Oh, is that right?
Yes. I thought it was more about how to be a leader, but you talked about more about meeting the leaders in the community.
Meeting the leaders, yeah. So we did a hospitality day, which was really cool. So we went out to Camp Lucy and did all kinds of things. And then we did nonprofit day, which was great because I had never been to the Foundry. I had never been to Foster Village. We actually went there. Oh. So you spend a whole day once a month with your group, and it probably involves a bus, and you go to all these places.
Huh. Maybe we should look into that.
We even went to the treatment plant where they treat the water.
Oh,
okay, we'll skip out on that
and
day. Although,
they give out Snickers at the end.
It's not water. I'm just saying, it's not water.
They give out stickers, though.
Ooh,
Snickers.
yeah.
Snickers.
Oh, Snickers. Damn
Snickers.
it.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say.
What is that, to kill the taste in your mouth, maybe?
No, because you're looking at all the water.
Oh, I would think Baby Ruth's would be better.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's true.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Was Aaron there from the city when you did that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, we had
he
him
presented
on.
to us.
Him on, yeah.
We got to walk along the top walk along around the outside.
Oh,
and
lucky you.
Oh, yes, it was
Sign me
fun.
up.
It was fun.
I want to know, what was your career path, like college? Like, did you envision yourself here where you are right now?
So I'll go back to high school. I was in a banking program in Houston at it was called a school within a school. So like a magnet program for us older people. I always loved going to the bank with my grandmother. I've always loved it, the environment. So as soon as I turned 18, I applied for a job at a bank. And
Really?
yes. So started working for a bank, and I stuffed envelopes where people's statements, Nolan Ryan statements. I always thought that was cool, but yes. And then I, of course, got on the teller line, and I've just done a lot of jobs at the bank and have always enjoyed it. Now, in 2007, 2008, I did lose my bank job and kind of had to get out of it for a little while.
Yeah.
And finally made my way back. So
What did you do in the interim?
I was a finance manager for Boat Town, Finance Boats.
Oh, really?
Yes, which the Ravens are a great family, and I love going to their new location on OBJ.
That was a hard time to sell boats, wasn't it?
It was a hard time for anything.
sell anything.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
2007. That was that crash. Which
But it was fun. I didn't love working every Saturday, so that was probably the hardest part. But I was off on Mondays. So.
Oh yeah, that it's funny that I'm going to go back to banking and business, Michelle.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yes.
You were just mentioning the 2007 crash, and a lot of people are trying to reconcile the 2007 crash with this crash. So
Yeah.
what kind of similarities and differences do you see between those two?
I just think there's uncertainty and there's volatility. And so I'll just say that for myself, I wanted to make sure that I had a larger skill set to make sure I kept a job. So that was my goal after I was laid off. And one of the gentlemen that works for me now, his dad laid me off. So, we're still friends, and it was definitely business. There was nothing else to it.
Yeah, well, it's a hard business across the board, but it seems to me like the downward pressure on the housing market. I don't know how we get out of this, but maybe what you said earlier, that people start to go, okay, it's going to be 7.5. I'm just going to have to bite the bullet. But
yeah, there are people that are paying rent that is just continuing to go up and up and up. My nephew, his girlfriend, they're in South Austin. I think they're paying $2,800 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So,
one of my questions was, what is your dream job? But are you in your dream job right now?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes. I love my job. I love being able to help people realize their dreams. My husband and I built our own house, and I just think it's a cool process. And I love being someone's guide. So when I send them off to someone else, I don't know that they're going to be taken care of. And that just makes me feel yucky.
Yeah, we say that all the time, don't we, Michelle? Like when we refer somebody to an agent in another town, it's always, we want them to get the best treatment there, and you can't guarantee that once you hand them off.
Yes. I give everyone my best friend advice. Whatever I would tell my best friend to do is what I tell my clients.
Yeah, that's great. I got an email from you guys this morning, from you actually, that you're offering some kind of new loan program for lower income, or is it lower income?
It is lower income, and
Tell us about that.
Primarily in low to moderate housing areas.
Okay.
So it has to be in a certain area, and then they can't make more than the median income for that area. So we're offering 100% financing.
Wow.
What areas around here is that eligible? Or
East Austin, Buda, Kyle, some northern areas too.
Like Cedar Park, Leander, kind of up there? Okay.
Yes.
Huh. And people should just, if they're interested in that, they just give you a call?
Sure. And then I have a gentleman that we hired that is kind of the champion of that program. So I think you've met him at one of the elite meetings. His name is Ivan. He's awesome.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Great guy.
So we're having a lunch and learn in September in Kyle for realtors in that area. So it'll be interesting.
I'd like to hear once that program's up and running, what kind of response you get.
We're having great response already.
Really?
Yeah. So it's a fixed interest rate for 30 years. That we're not really known for that, but we're going to keep that loan. We're not going to sell it. So
What kind of interest rates are people seeing on those?
6.99.
Really? And 100% financing?
No fees. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. What?
I want that.
And no more. No mortgage insurance.
That's great. Wow. Yeah. So I'm getting into the weeds in the banking industry. So you guys borrow money from the Fed at what's the interest rate now from the Fed? Like 4%, something.
Don't look at me.
Look at Michelle.
looking at me.
Wall Street Journal Prime, I think, is 7.5.
Yeah, but I mean, what the Fed? So you guys are borrowing money from the Fed and then lending it to these folks, or are you lending them money from your assets on deposit?
Way above my pay grade.
Oh, okay. Well,
I have to ask Brent.
Yeah, get Brent on the line. Would
Here,
you, Michelle?
Where are you getting the money, Brent?
Yeah. Well, the whole banking thing, even though I've been in the business 20 years, it still is a little bit of voodoo magic that goes on in the background, with underwriters and how they decide what works and what doesn't work and what red flags go up and so all that. And then, where the money actually comes from.
I can say there's a lot less voodoo magic when a loan is being underwritten at South Star. So we just kind of have removed a lot of the red tape. We do make sense loans.
Okay. You guys have done a couple loans for me, and it has been very easy and got them paid off, which was nice.
Yay.
And then the whole process.
So
was
if
good.
I took my voodoo doll of Steven and you used your voodoo magic,
It would be way less
voodoo
painful.
doll that you poke with the pins?
I don't know. I don't know what
something
it
else?
is. It's just
Kim, what's something that you wish every customer that walked through the door that wants to get a loan from you or from South Star? What's the one thing or couple things that you wish every one of them knew?
I think some people walk in very guarded. They feel like I'm going to try to voodoo them. We care. I want the best loan for my customer because I have to see them. I have to see them in the grocery store. I know that this is one of the biggest financial decisions they're going to make in their life. And, I'm there to help them make a good one.
Do you think they're guarded because everybody's been taught to be a little secretive with their finances and not tell you everything?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you had some experiences with people that are not putting accurate information on their applications?
I mean, for example, I have a gentleman that I'm doing a lot loan for right now. He's buying a lot in Smithville and he's going to build a house, and I have his lot loan approved. And then his builder contacted me to go ahead and start the process of construction. And I said, what? I thought we were only doing a lot loan. Well, he had more money. We can do both at one time if they're ready.
Okay.
And so I'm going to save this gentleman probably $4,000 just by saying, hey, let's close these together. There's no reason to wait 2 or 3 months if you have the money now.
So explain that to me. So close them together. It's a lot loan and a construction loan at the same time.
Correct. We're going to purchase the lot and we're going to set aside the money to build the house all at one time. Instead of purchasing the lot and then doing a construction loan and paying off the lot loan, that's 2 closings, 2 appraisals, 2 of a lot of things.
Yeah, title commitments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yes.
Title insurance. Yeah, that adds up a lot.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So he was very happy Friday.
Yeah, I bet he was. Yeah. And save
And he's a fireman. I mean, and his wife's a teacher. They don't have tons of money, but he did have a substantial savings account that I didn't know about.
Oh,
so
that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Let's change the topic and talk about your extracurricular activities that I think a lot of people don't know this. You're a hot rodder.
Yes, my husband loves racing and always has, and loves fabricating and building cars, and our friend group does that. So
fabricating, you guys are actually.
Oh,
do
he
you
builds.
like working on them?
Oh no, not me. I'll be in the pool.
Oh yeah.
Well, what I want to ask is, I saw in your bio, you guys dated for 17 years and then you married. You've been married 18 years.
Were you not sure he was the one?
Yes, that's it. I think my husband wasn't sure, but he finally just
wore him
said,
down.
"Okay, I did. I wore him down." No,
Well,
it did take us a long time.
how did y'all meet?
He was in tech school in Houston, and he lived in the same apartments my mom and I did. So,
Was he into hot rods then?
oh yes, I mean he's always loved hot
Is that
rods.
one of the things
It's in
that
his
attracted
blood.
you to him was the hot rods?
Probably the bad boy in him. He's definitely a bad boy.
Do you have I think I saw some pictures. You have a hot rod yourself that's you can
That he bought
that's
me.
yours? Yeah.
Yes.
What is that?
A 56 Bel Air with
man.
air conditioning.
Oh, there you go. Requirement.
That's a pretty car.
Is
Thank
that
you.
an aftermarket ad, air conditioning, or was it?
I don't know. I just turned it on.
I don't know if they had air conditioning back in 56.
I don't know. I wasn't born. You were born then. What was?
I was not. Shush.
You were a little boy around then. What did?
I remember my dad talking about, I think his dad had a 56 I don't remember. But
So,
anyway.
along with the hot rod too, I touched base on this at the very beginning before we started recording. You went through some pretty significant health issues too when you were.
I
the last-
did. Yes. So I'm coming up on my 10-year anniversary being cancer free.
Oh.
I had pancreatic cancer,
Oh my
which
gosh,
is
I did not know that.
very rare, and most people don't survive. So I just live every day with joy and appreciation, and just happy to be here.
What's the survivability of pancreatic cancer?
I don't know.
not
My
very-
doctor told me not to look it up, so I never have.
Yeah.
But
So how did that journey start?
I started itching all over, so like crazy. And Brent thought I had the swine flu or something. He kept joking, but I kept having to go to figure it out. So ended up that's what it was.
Did they do surgery?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
a very huge surgery called a Whipple procedure.
Oh,
So it probably took me about 2 years to survive that. Another reason I love South
You
Star
were working
Bank.
at South Star at the
Another
time?
reason I love South Star Bank. So they stood behind me. They told me just to work when I could, which I'm a kind of a workaholic. So I was always at work if I
Wow.
could be.
How long did it take to get the diagnosis once you started looking into it?
A matter of weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
so you went in for itching, and then they
Well, did
thought
you have
to
any
look-
other symptoms?
No other symptoms,
Wow.
which it was so early. They were able to remove the tumor and a lot of things around it just to make sure. But
And so I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No,
Michelle, but-
It's just I'm fascinated with it. It's like you just went in for itching, and then you must have had a really good doctor that decided, okay, let's figure out what's.
I really did. I had a great, I met a great doctor in Southwest Austin. Her name was Dr. Steigler, and she ordered a bunch of blood work. And she said, this liver stuff doesn't look right. I'm going to go ahead and send you in. And had she not done that, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Wow.
So they took out a portion of your pancreas?
Pancreas, stomach, and some other stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
It's a
gosh.
huge surgery.
And then did you have to do chemotherapy or anything after that?
I did one, and then I didn't love it, and I decided not to do any more.
What did your doctor say about that when you said, I'm not going to do any more?
He said he would support me in anything I decided to do. So he, it wasn't what he recommended, but it was what was right for me.
And you're 10 years now clear?
In December,
Wow.
I had my surgery 10 years ago.
So you have to. How often do you have to go back and get checked?
Well, he broke up with me. So yeah, I'm not going at all.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I was going yearly, every 6 months, then yearly. And he said, I think you're cured, Kim. So
Wow.
yeah, which is really hard to believe, and you never really feel cured, but
Yeah. What do you think that journey taught you?
it definitely taught me to get up every day, appreciate that I can go to work, that I can make dinner for my family, that I can have this conversation with you today just to try to make a difference. No one's going to remember you for your car that you leave them or anything. They're going to remember how you made them feel. And I'm just happy to be here.
That's really true. Yeah. All the stuff that we get all wrapped up in every day is really insignificant.
I still get wrapped up in it. I try,
we all do.
Try not to, but at the end of the day, none of it matters.
Yeah.
Well, no, and you have a young daughter now. So how old was your daughter when you were going through all of this?
She was 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
It just puts a lot of things into perspective, and you're thinking, okay, your fight was bigger than it being about yourself, about your family, your daughter, and your
100%.
husband.
So there's always been milestones in my mind, like, oh, I just want to see her do this, or I just want to see her do that, or, I lost my mom when I was 25, so I just couldn't imagine her losing me at such a young age. So, of course, I have wonderful friends and a great village, and they all had their marching orders if something happened to me, like, hey, you need to make sure and tell Race about this or that, and just take care of her. So
wow, those must have been difficult conversations and emotional. Wow.
It was a very emotional time.
Yeah.
You don't know. I mean, of course I did look up a few things. Some people live like 6 months. So
wow,
you get your poop in a group quickly.
Yeah.
That blows my mind. And it's one of the reasons we started this podcast, because I've known you for a long time and I never knew this about you. Yeah. Cancer survivor.
Definitely not something
cancer.
I advertise,
No.
It's not what I want to lead with. But yeah.
I know, but I know you fairly well.
Yes.
I mean, I see you like once every week or 10 days. And and we've had lunch together a few times.
It's why I don't run.
Yeah.
I just try to live every day.
Yeah. No, good for you. You mentioned cooking for your family, and then so you do. Is that something you really enjoy doing? Is cooking?
I love it. It's my love language for sure.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I love to be able to feed a crowd. I'm always constantly hosting something at my house, and just people go, oh, did you have this catered? Like, no, I did this myself.
Yes.
You know what, Michelle? Right now, Todd is listening, and he's going, well, not right this second, but he's going to be listening, and he's going to make this face when he hears you say that.
What?
He's going to make that face of like, what is she talking about? He cooks all the stuff.
No, he
does.
doesn't.
He's a cook. He's the cook.
No, he doesn't. He immediately doesn't. He gets his marching orders.
Oh, okay.
I tell him look, he's the smoker guy, but I also micromanage the smoker. Okay, so I know that's shocking to you that I'm micromanaging something.
Surprise.
He's my sous chef. He's my chopper. He's my
Okay.
cutter.
Actually, I'll go along with that.
So I was like, no.
You run the kitchen. You tell him what to do.
100%. I run the kitchen for sure.
I love cooking and entertaining and having a ton of people.
Do you
in
have
my
a signature
pool
dish that you make?
Well, it's gonna really disappoint you. It's taco soup.
Oh well.
Oh, I like taco soup,
which I did whip up Saturday night when a bunch of people came home with us from the car show.
Oh,
so they did not leave until Sunday, like at 5.
Oh my gosh, jeez! Wow. You mentioned you wanted to write a cookbook.
I would love to. I have a lot of friends that, I need this recipe and I need this recipe. So whenever I retire, if I ever do, I'd like to put all my recipes down and publish a cookbook. Yeah.
And then you said something about writing a country song.
It's kind of funny. I listen to songs. I'm like, every now and then I think of different tunes, and so I do write them down.
You do?
Yes, and someday I'm gonna put together a country song.
Do you play?
I'm not really musical, but I love. I used to write poems and stuff when I was younger, and life experiences has given me a lot of funny content. So.
Well, maybe you should go over to Hudson's and just kind of sit in and see what those kiddos are doing.
Karaoke with Kim.
Oh yeah, right. That would be. There you go.
Sing your original stuff to us.
So you said that you like to hang out in the pool while he does all the hot rodding. That's kind of my deal too. It's like, you go do your thing. I'm going to be in the pool, but you are involved. You go to the shows. I see pictures of you doing things. That's kind of a little community in itself, right?
It is. I love to go to the car shows when they actually have an organized one. If they're just going to a Hay City store on Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to stay home.
Yeah. What do they do at these calls? Okay, don't answer. Okay, I want to know from a woman's perspective. Like, what are these guys doing? They just sitting there polishing their chrome?
Yes, that is what they're doing. They're just showing off their stuff. And of course, my husband has to take a big trailer with 3 or 4.
Really? How many
yes.
cars does he have?
10.
Really?
He loves it. Yes.
Wow.
I mean, his dad built cars and he's raced his whole life.
So do you have a big shop behind your house?
We do.
So that's your house is the hot rod hangout then. It just kind of community.
Yes, but I mean, you kind of collect friends that have the same mindset. So our friend that lives off of Nutty Brown, they have the same setup: pool, shop, house.
So all the wives are in the pools and all the husbands are over polishing their chrome.
Yes, and then eventually the guys come down to the pool.
Yeah.
So
you went to the Lone Star Roundup?
Lonely Star. Yes.
Lonely Star. Okay. This past weekend. And what and how many cars did your husband take?
He took 4. He has a few for sale, so we're trying to build a cabin at the lake.
Oh.
So he's trying to liquidate a few things.
Yeah. Where you have lakefront property somewhere?
We bought some property on Lake Limestone a couple of years ago. So east of Temple.
Oh,
It's a very small fishing lake, very quiet.
Constant level?
No.
So is it down pretty far right now?
It's down right now, but it has a boat dock and it's nice.
Is that
it's
a
very peaceful.
retirement goal?
Possibly, yes, maybe so.
Yeah.
Do you guys go hang out there now?
We do.
Yeah.
We go mow there a lot when it's raining.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, what's rain? What is
God,
that? Is that
I know.
stuff that falls from the sky?
know,
I haven't seen it in a while.
One of my favorite things to do lately is I have game cams out there. So I love watching the wildlife. So we've seen bobcats and
really?
we've seen, crazy stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Sasquatch.
Yeah. So you think you'll build a cabin and retire there?
Probably someday. I don't know if Brent will ever let me actually retire.
Probably
so
not.
Same.
I'm fixing to set up on Starlink so I can work out there and stay.
It's one of the businesses where, sometimes you have to meet people, but in this business, you can do a lot of work online, can't you, remotely?
I can, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, during COVID, we worked from home 100%.
Oh, that's true.
You
Yeah.
know, Kimberly, you talk a lot about giving back to your community and just all the organizations that you're involved in outside of your professional life, and whether it's you're kind of bleeding in from the professional to the fun stuff, the groups that you're in. But if you're a new businesswoman that just kind of moved here to Dripping Springs, from out west or whatever, how would you help that person kind of get plugged into the community?
Sure. So there's a group called the Empower Women's Group. It's a group of business owners, women that meets monthly.
Dr. Michelle went.
Dr. Michelle runs it, and it's awesome. It's very organized. I love that group because you get a list of all the people that were there and their email addresses, and everyone gets a chance to speak. So I would highly recommend them starting there. And then, of course, the chamber is always a great place to start, too.
For sure.
Do you get nervous when you stand up in front of people and talk?
I do. I usually don't even remember what I say.
Oh, is that right?
Yes. I do practice in the morning, but I usually don't remember. I never stay on script.
I'm the same way. It's funny because I can stand up in front of a group of 100 realtors and not have any problem at all because I know exactly what I'm talking about. But if I go MC some event and I'm kind of out of my element, it's just 500 people that I don't know that well, man, I get really, really nervous.
Not me.
You don't get nervous at all?
I do get nervous, but I'm just like, hey, I just kind of go in a zone and it just glosses over and I don't know what I said and why I said it and then just walk off. And
that's got to be, I think public speaking, don't they say that's one of the most scary things for people in life? Some people are more scared of it than dying is public speaking.
Well, gosh, there's just the 3 of us now here in this room. Nobody else is listening to us. It's just us. So it's not scary at all.
That's right.
But no, Kimberly, I think that this community is very, very lucky to have you and to have someone like you as plugged in to everything that you are plugged into. And it doesn't seem like you have an agenda, any type of agenda to pull these people in. You're not trying to sell yourself along with selling the group.
I think she does have an agenda, but your agenda
Well,
is
not nefarious, yeah.
exactly. But your agenda is to help people,
And
so,
it's
so
to
that they
connect.
can improve
Yeah.
their lives. And I
Yeah.
think I've always picked up on that from you. You're not there trying to sell another loan to hit your numbers. You're there just trying to improve people's lives.
Yeah.
And I applaud you for that, because we need a little bit more of that these days.
Well, you have the sweetest soul, and I
Aw,
love
thank
the
you.
energy being around you, and it is nice.
Well, I think y'all are doing an amazing thing here, and I was excited to be a part of it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
glad that you spent some time with us today. I know you're really busy. You got a lot of stuff going on. So thanks for coming in.
And
My pleasure.
You can go back working for that rodeo clown now.
Ready to turn your land dreams into reality? Look no further than Capital Farm Credit.
Need a loan for your perfect piece of land? Capital Farm Credit is there for you.
Their dedicated team will tailor a loan to fit your unique needs, because your dreams are their priority.
Capital Farm Credit, your land, your legacy. Visit capitalfarmcredit.com or Mark Rutledge at 512-892-4425.
Capital Farm Credit. Together, we're better.
Capital Farm Credit, an equal credit housing lender. Elevate your living experience with M. Elliott Studio, your trusted partner in interior design, registered and licensed by the state of Texas.
You want your home to reflect your personal style and identity. Investing in a well-crafted design doesn't just beautify your home, it enriches your life.
Team principal and owner, Montana Elliott, understands the profound impact of a thoughtfully designed space. From remodeling to full design, M. Elliott Studio is the first step to unlocking your style.
Turn your aspirations into reality. Tailored to your taste and desires, M. Elliott Studio will work to create an environment that embraces your style with style.
Your space, their expertise.
melliotstudio.com 512-781-0224.
This show has been brought to you in part by the real estate pros at the Mallett Integrity Team. When you're looking to buy or sell, you need them on your side. Why settle for less when you can have real estate done right? Give them a call at 512-829-2062 or get more info at mallettintegrityteam.com.
You know you like us, so go now to Apple Podcast or Spotify and leave us a review. Why don't ya? We love your feedback and comments. Email us at mallettandmichelle@gmail.com.
Thanks for putting up with us.